When asking a bunch of people what is their favorite arc from Dragon Ball Z, a lot of people will lead with either the Cell Saga or the Frieza arc. Actually, to be more specific, a lot of people will tell you that the Frieza arc is the best arc from Dragon Ball, but the Cell Saga is the favorite. I don't want to say too much about either of them because they will get their separate video, but in short, I believe this is due to the fact that favorite characters are from those sagas. That, and honestly speaking, who doesn't like a good Super Saiyan transformation? But Dragon Ball Z obviously had great arcs. However, I'm here to focus on the Saiyan saga, which I believe is the most underrated saga of Dragon Ball Z. Because when I was asking my friends what their favorite Dragon Ball arc is, I definitely don't have an answer for myself. I know who my favorite characters are, I know what my favorite moments are, but I don't know what is my favorite Dragon Ball arc. So I'm actually rewatching the series, and yes, I know it's Dragon Ball Z, but I'm rewatching the series just to see what I would personally say is my favorite arc right now. So I'm reviewing it kinda critically, I'm also reviewing it nostalgically, etc, etc. It's just a straight up review about the damn arc. Let's get right into it. As I stated earlier, out of all 4 arcs of Dragon Ball, I believe this is the most underrated one. And it starts with the fact that people forget about Raditz. Now, I'm not implying Raditz was a great character or anything, he was only there for 5 damn episodes, so even if he was, what's the point? And obviously, due to hindsight, he's not crazy strong as a character, he's not too likable, etc, etc. However, one undeniable thing that people do forget is Raditz was a big fucking deal. The only reason this arc is kinda slept on may be the fact that people started watching Dragon Ball Z from the Frieza saga or something, because if you're from Dragon Ball, again, Raditz was a big fucking deal. Any mysterious question about Goku, knowing the fact that he was already a quote-quote monkey boy, got answered when Raditz arrived. Why does he have a tail? The Ozaru transformation, the Zenkai boost, which weren't exactly defined in this saga, but we did realize every time Goku got the shit beat out of him, he came back stronger. We also learned that Goku was basically set out to destroy Earth rather than just randomly protect it. Raditz's appearance to Kame House really answered a bunch of things about Goku that we never knew. In addition to that, one positive thing about Raditz as a character and his appearance was the fact that he wasn't on world domination time. He was simply trying to recruit Goku. Goku's denial to be recruited led him into being an enemy and therefore put his own life in danger. Raditz never had intention necessarily to blow up the Earth. He may have said a couple of bullshit here and there, but as a character, Raditz was never threatening the Earth. He was threatening Goku. Then obviously you have the fight scene, which by the way symbols so much because it was unthinkable to think that Piccolo and Goku really had to team up just to beat this guy. Again, a big fucking deal. And this may sound dark, but to close off the Raditz arc, they're lucky Goku died. It would have been a whole different issue if Goku actually lived, didn't learn the Kaioken or the Spirit Bomb. Goku is a Saiyan prodigy, let's not get it twisted, but no way. Just no way it happens. He's too far outclassed. In fact, the only hope would have been Gohan. Speaking of Gohan, maybe Raditz's importance is stretched out right now, but Gohan's is certainly not. Gohan was a kid prodigy who at one point in the fight eclipsed everyone on the battlefield, including Raditz himself. It got so bad to the point that when he was vulnerable, Raditz was like, okay, I'm not gonna kidnap this guy because if he snaps, he might kill us all. And he wasn't talking about Goku and Piccolo. He was talking about Vegeta and Nappa. Obviously, I think Raditz is downplaying Vegeta and Nappa there, or he's just really sizing Gohan at the time. But the point is, Gohan plus Rage Boost was an insane character and an insane X Factor leading up to the next couple of Saiyans' arrival. And we found out he was going to be forcefully trained. Sorry if that sounds a little crazy, by the way, but he was going to be trained by Piccolo. Granted, Piccolo's the strongest person on the planet at that moment in time, but he did just kill his father 10 minutes ago. All of the things I just covered was well paced, unpredictable, and dramatic. Everything changed due to the threat at hand. Everything went out of fucking control. All of this chaos, all of these random hyper scenarios took place because of Raditz and the Saiyans' pressure they put on these characters. And we only know they existed for 5 episodes. But yeah, then you get into the Gohan training arc, and honestly, I'm not going to spend too much time here, but it was a major factor. It was pretty brutal, and it basically made Gohan be a young man so early. Obviously, he's still a kid, so things such as fighting, death weren't exactly a major appealing concept to him quite yet, but him learning literally just the basics of combat made him a huge X factor in the Saiyan battle. And briefly, we also learned a lot about Piccolo. Although he was evil, 100%, he definitely wasn't Piccolo Sr. or his father per se. Because at first he was training Gohan out of necessity, right? Later on, we all know he died for the kid. But yeah, and then you have the Snake Way training, so the training arcs weren't really too dramatic, too themed. I'm pretty much gonna gloss over them, but yeah, Goku gets really strong, 10 times gravity, Gohan learns how to fight, and Piccolo establishes a bond with Gohan. The only major thing that happens here, quite honestly, outside of every character getting stronger, is the fact that Piccolo blows up the moon because Gohan transformed, which should have made a huge difference, but I'll talk about what I liked and disliked about the arc at the end. Soon the Saiyans arrive and they cause havoc immediately as they step on the scene. They just cuck a random city for no reason, but from the audience point of view, it actually showcased how they were significantly the strongest people they've ever met, and we didn't even see Vegeta do anything. We just saw Nappa do everything. And as far as the Cybermen fight goes, Yamcha's death never really hit me. I was never a huge Yamcha fan, even in Dragon Ball. I just don't know what it was. It was cool off, bro. But it did establish that although Gohan is strong, he's scared. He's a kid. And really, you could tell late in the Cybermen fight, let alone during the entire Nappa fight, that none of Earth's protectors stood a chance except for Goku. Now, it's unfortunate that this thing became an anchor in Dragon Ball, but for this saga, it actually fit the script pretty well. Earth was in a vulnerable state. It wasn't like, oh, they're just too weak anyway. No, they've already been too weak. They just trained up to be on Raditz's level. It would have only made sense if Piccolo had given Nappa a really good fight. That would have been the only thing that made sense, or if Gohan had a rage boost moment. Other than that, maybe they could have got away with Piccolo upsetting Nappa, but there would have been no feasible reason as to how they defeat Vegeta, let alone the both of them. This is one of the few times the wait for Goku shtick actually worked. But I want to skip too fast because all of the deaths in the Nappa fight hit home like shit, bro. Oh my god. The way Chiaotzu went out, then shortly Tien, Piccolo sacrifices a god tier moment in the series, and then we really thought Gohan almost got murked. And let me rewind that for a second. Piccolo dying was probably the biggest deal in all of Dragon Ball at that moment in time, because at the time there was no Namek, and even if we knew of the Super Dragon Balls, there was no way these niggas were gonna go get them. For those who somehow don't know, with Piccolo dying meant Kami died, which meant the Dragon Balls were eradicated, no more, and never could be used again. And of all things, he sacrificed that for Goku's son. Piccolo, if anything, Piccolo being as smart he is, if anything, would have naturally dodged that attack or stayed out of the way because it wasn't aimed at him, for the sake of, hey, damn Goku, that's tough, but we gotta revive your son if we get out of this. The only logical standpoint Piccolo has for sacrificing himself for Gohan is if he knew that Gohan would put a better fight against Vegeta later down the road. But from a logical standpoint, it made no sense. It was entirely emotional, and that's why it hit. But shortly after Piccolo dies, we get the arrival of Goku, who was just a little too late to protect all his friends. And I don't care what any other anime fan says, if there's one thing Dragon Ball does do well, it's introduce the fuck out of Goku whenever he comes back from training. He quite effortlessly beats the dog shit out of Nappa. The only time he had to show effort was when Nappa threatened to kill Krillin or Gohan or whoever the fuck he was targeting, and he had to play his cards and use the Kaioken to catch up to him. I also did like the fact that Goku wasn't fast enough in his normal form to just catch Nappa like that. I understand he was stronger, but I did like how they didn't make Goku OP. And although he was there the entire time, we actually get an introduction to Vegeta's character shortly after, as he immediately kills Nappa the second he's useless to him. A lot of people viewed this as a Saiyan mentality or just the Saiyans being really evil, but I clearly, even at a young age, took that as Vegeta himself. Obviously, I didn't know what the motive was, a la who the fuck is Frieza at the moment in time, but I knew that Vegeta had something up his sleeve. I knew Vegeta simply did not care enough to just kill Goku for Raditz's sake. That was clearly shown. And it gets amped up again when Vegeta asks the same question Raditz did to Goku. Do you want to join us? And by the way, I'm gonna just get to that chase because the video is getting too long anyway. That's what I like most about this saga. It's not about oh, I'm evil, I'm gonna destroy the world, like how it typically is. This is about them testing the morality of Goku, and also some ulterior motive to the Saiyans that we simply do not know outside of them being essentially space pirates. In fact, the only time Vegeta threatens to blow up the Earth or the rest of the thing outside of just a random killing of civilians because they're fucking Saiyans, that's what they do. They weren't exactly the nicest people on Earth, you know, is when Goku gets the advantage in the fight. You see, the whole symbolism outside of Vegeta being superior, you've watched the videos. If you're watching this one, you've watched the Goku versus Vegeta videos. You already know the symbolism in them. I don't need to talk about it too much. But the reason Vegeta threatens to blow up the Earth is simply because he knows he is about to lose this fight. Well, at least in his base form. But regardless, Vegeta senses himself losing the fight, so he threatens to blow up the Earth, so Goku has to take the full brunt of the Gallic Gun from a downward motion. There's no dodging the Gallic Gun, there's no countering the Gallic Gun, because if you dodge it, your planet is doomed. It was actually a brilliant move except for, you know, Kaioken. Which, by the way, Vegeta's durability, at least in this saga, insane. Oh my fucking god. And again, this is the third time I'm stating this video gets too long. We all know what happens shortly after. Vegeta lives, turns to a great ape. The gang has to jump in on him because fuck no, Goku ain't beating no Azaru Vegeta. Krillin using the spirit bomb was dope as fuck. Vegeta still lives. Yajirobe gets a good punch in. And I absolutely love the fact that over time Vegeta got weaker. It wasn't some, okay, well, he was still originally stronger than Gohan, so now Gohan can't put up a fight. I love the fact that Gohan was the reason Krillin could even throw the spirit bomb to begin with. It also did a lot for his character arc, being the one to fight Vegeta head on while everyone is out. Yeah, and then you get Great Ape Gohan, falls on Vegeta, GG to Vegeta, Krillin lets him live, which was kind of stupid, but at the same time, it's Goku. I'm gonna get the negatives out the way because it's not too many of them. So it's not the fact that I don't like Great Ape Vegeta or how that fight played out, but I don't think that fight should have necessarily happened. I know that's a hot take, but fuck it. I feel like if Piccolo had a from the grave situation, that would have been pretty dope, but that's just me. That's a really minor one. One major one for me was the power level thing. I was never a fan of them because power level wasn't simply who can optimize the most of their strength. Power level was more so, hey, if you guys fight at full power, who will win the fight? It included things such as speed, durability, all that stuff. It wasn't simple who can output the most strength. Also on the rewatch, the training arc was a bit dragged out. Snake Way pacing was okay, I guess. Nah, not even that, no. It was just dragged out too long. You gotta think, all that stuff with Raditz happened in 5 episodes, but then the training arc took 16. And lastly, and this is just a fantasy dream thing, this ain't really too hard on the saga itself, but I really believe that after Piccolo's death, Gohan should have put up a extremely good fight against Nappa. A way better one than he originally did. Not saying I wanted Gohan by any stretch of the means to actually kill Nappa. I did not want that, but I wanted a rage boost moment that actually compared him to Nappa for a temporary moment in time. A lot of people are going to be mad at that, but that's how I feel, honestly, but fuck it. Let's move on to the positives. There's a plethora of them. I'm not going to name every little one because it's a great saga, but I am going to name the underrated factors and obviously the best ones of it. All the Z fighters dying, especially Piccolo's, hit different. Not only did it hit different, it actually felt like it was well-deserved deaths for them. They had no other business on the field. And a lot of people talk about iconic moments in Dragon Ball. They think of the Super Saiyan transformation, the Super Saiyan 2 one, the Spirit Bomb against Kid Buu. How is Piccolo's death not exactly up there? Like, Piccolo's death was a really major thing in the series. It added a what the fuck factor to the entire saga. It was way more than just emotion. Again, Piccolo dying meant the Dragon Balls didn't work, which pretty much negated the reason the Saiyans were there in the first place. Speaking of Saiyans, nobody else will say it, so I will. Vegeta's the second best villain in the series. I don't think it's a secret who number 1 is, but he does have his own video, so I'm not gonna say his name. I think Vegeta's far and away second. I think people sleep on that due to the fact that there are character moments in which the protagonist has a good antagonist to go along with their goated moment, but I don't necessarily think those antagonists are better than Vegeta. There's only one clear-cut antagonist in the entire series of Dragon Ball that is better than Vegeta. And although I didn't like the fact that Vegeta made a moon, I think that was a bit of a cop-out. I do like the fact that Gohan basically had his little rage moment and therefore beat him via that way. I did like the fact that Gohan is really the victor in all of this. Nappa was an underrated villain, not because he was a tyrant or whatever, but he got his job done. Nappa fulfilled the role of being really strong and really annoying to deal with. And again, if you're watching this, you've watched the other videos, I don't need to talk about how great Goku versus Vegeta is. That might still be the best fight in the series. So let me conclude with this. Do I personally have this as my favorite saga? No. Is this necessarily my favorite saga? Hell no. I'm not gonna lie, hell no. But the fact that this is nobody's favorite saga or nobody considers this the best saga shows me that it's grossly underrated, because it could easily be both. Because story-wise, it's not far-fetched to say this is probably the best one. Maybe there's one other saga that tells a better story than this one. You have goated characters, goated moments, a goat fight, you have all that stuff. Quite honestly speaking, this arc might be underrated simply for the fact that the characters aren't as strong. There's no eye-popping new transformations or anything like that. What I'm starting to see over time is that season 1s in anime, or the first arcs in anime, are never quite perceived the best, which is rightfully so. I hope the writers get better over time, but because they're the foundation for your much-earned character moments / transformations later in the series, the foundation itself is overlooked. Those moments you adore so much wouldn't be nearly as good without this foundation, and this certainly goes for the Saiyan saga. So if you have the time, I highly recommend rewatching this arc, as it may surprise you how good it actually is. While you guys do that, I'm gonna go work on another video though. It's been your boy TSO Sage. Subscribe to join the most versatile content creator on the rise, at least, because nobody knows me quite yet. But I'll see you guys real soon. Thank you for watching.